I want to welcome you all into Rig University, and this month's presentation is on the Spectra Mobile. I am Jason Whitmire, Director of Education and Technology for SafeFleet, and you can see my smiling face there on the screen. I've got my camera up for the moment, but I am going to shut my camera down as we get started and focus in on the content. Wanted to let everyone know that this presentation will go up online. It is being recorded, and it will go up online to rigrecon.com where you can see it. Just open up with our core values. We cover this in all of our RigRecon University classes, and that is our clear stance. The fact that as a corporation, we have curiosity. We pride ourselves on leadership, enthusiasm in the products that we sell and build, accountability, standing behind the products, and then respect. And, we like to always focus on the fact that respect is a two-way street. We expect to garner and earn the respect of our customer, and we give you that respect up front in knowing that you know your product, you know what you need in the field, and our job is to make sure that we're better helping you accomplish that. I mentioned RigRecon. RigRecon is the host for this webinar. It is where we store all of these webinars to be able to watch later, and it is our all-encompass, comprehensive, one-stop shop to learn about fire apparatus. You can see some of the stuff that we've added recently to rigrecon.com. We've got an overview on our EXM2 monitors that really goes in depth and shows you the inner workings. We've got comparison charts. The job is to make your life easier. So the comparison charts compare all of the popular monitors on the product or on the market and how they compare to each other on key features. RigRecon Live is our webinar series, our podcast series, and we are now in season 2. We have 10 episodes released. The last 2 episodes were very interesting. Pre-construction tips, our co-hosts on that one were Mike Wilbur and Tom Shand, better known as the apparatus architects. They had some great insight into pre-constructions these days and what goes into them. And our most recent one was apparatus accidents. It's a retired chief from Washington, D.C., Ed Rice. He had I guess you wouldn't call it the fortune, but the misfortune of running a fleet that was involved in some serious accidents. And he goes into some of the insights on what to look for and things to think about when you're dealing with an apparatus accident. Today, we're here specifically to talk about the Spectra Mobile. And the Spectra Mobile is the only portable battery-operated light that we offer. We offer several different lights, but most of our lights traditionally at FRC have been the type that are mounted on the side of an apparatus, on the brow of an apparatus, up on top of the aerial device, on telescoping poles. We have several portable lights, but they've all been powered, and they've been on a tripod or a small mounting base. This is a battery-operated portable light. We'll start by going through the basics of what is the Spectra Mobile and what goes into it. It's pretty basic. So this isn't going to be anything earth-shattering. And then we're going to wrap up by going through a comparison between our product and the other products on the market and how they stack up against each other. So like I said, it's a portable light. This is built off of our Spectra MS light platform. So if that light looks similar, that is the Spectra MS that we mount on apparatus in a surface position. 15,000 raw lumens, 13,500 effective lumens. Now that 13,500 effective lumens, that is the key driving factor here. We're going to come back to that over and over. Not going to drive you through a whole education on lighting today, but if you haven't seen it, one of our webinars was an education on lighting. The real education on lighting is the difference between raw lumens and effective lumens. Effective is what I care about. Effective is what's going out there. Unfortunately, raw is what everyone publishes. So raw is the only way for you as an end user or anyone in the field to compare 2 lights on paper. But effective is what you really care about. This light is very balanced at 11 pounds, very light. And then we are using an 18-volt, 12-amp-hour Milwaukee battery. A lot of discussions on the battery. Why do we go with Milwaukee? Well, the first thing is we're not a battery company. So we didn't want to force you into a battery that we basically bought from someone, then private labeled and made it seem like it was ours. Instead, we wanted to openly use a popular battery off of the market. Second thing with that is we were trying to find a battery that is used on fire apparatus, and we went into development on this. There were a few problems back in the day with the DeWalt battery. So the Milwaukee was the great or the best choice at the time. Now we've seen the DeWalt has become much more popular and the problems that they had have gone away. So we are looking into making an adapter so that you could run this same light with a DeWalt battery by simply sliding an adapter in place. Our goal is we want this light to be able to operate with the batteries you're already carrying on your rig for other things. The light has a plunging and hanging spike built into it. So you can see that on the back of the light. There is a dial that you turn to release that plunging hanging spike. That gives you the ability to stick it into a wall or prop it up on something. The rubber hanging strap. So there's a release at the front of the light that allows you to loosen this up, and then you could completely remove it and wrap it around something. Think a ladder against a building. Think I've got something, maybe I've already stripped the walls and there's an opening in the ceiling rafters, and I want to wrap this around and hang it so it can shine down. Tripod mounting adapter. Mentioned earlier, we already do a lot of portable lighting. We are probably, FRC is probably one of the only people in the industry that still makes a tripod. Most tripods have gone away. So lots of rigs still carry a tripod with a light that you would run a cord to. The mounting adapter only made sense to be able to take this portable light and put it onto that pole that you're already carrying. The warranty is one of the things that sets everyone apart in the industry. If you look in our literature today, you will see a 5-year warranty advertised. And then there's usually a little asterisk there, and that gets into the battery. Because we're not, like I said, we're not in the battery business. So it's a 1-year battery warranty, and that's pretty common in the industry. The difference that we provided is the light I said is our Spectra MS light head. That already carries a lifetime warranty when you mount it on the side of a rig. So why wouldn't it carry that same lifetime warranty when it's in your hand? So the lamp head itself, we're talking the LEDs, we're talking the lamp head as far as getting water intrusion into it, things like that. That is a lifetime warranty to the owner. And then it's 5 years on stuff like the hanging spike, the strap, the switches, things like that, and 1 year on the battery. There are 5 operating modes for this light. You see the toggle switch, I have it circled there in yellow. So on the first toggle, you're going to turn the light on, and it's going to be in flood mode. And I'm going to show you flood versus spot from some drone footage in an upcoming slide. Second toggle will move you to spot mode. The third toggle will give you a warm light mode, which is kind of a mix of amber and white, mainly made to cut through smoke. Fourth toggle will go full amber. So if I'm in a really smoky atmosphere, full amber gives me less reflection versus the white. It also works if I want to lay this next to my rig as a light to get someone's attention down low for traffic oncoming in an amber mode. And then the fifth toggle is a flashing amber mode. Again, something that's giving a little bit of a warning. In any of the modes, if you hold the switch up, you're going to change the intensity. And we have 3 intensity levels, full, medium, and low. You always default to full, and most people will always run it in full. Why have a medium and a low? Well, at the end, we're going to show you charts that show how long a light will run for. So if I'm sitting doing an investigation, I'm doing an arson investigation inside a building, I'm going to be in there for a while, and I don't need incredibly intense light. I may want to put it on medium or low mode because I know I'm going to be in there for a while. At any time, if you wanted to turn the light off, you flip the toggle switch down. So here's our first example. This is our spot pattern. Now what you're going to see is you're going to see the same video for spot, the same video for flood. This is done it's at a football field, but we're on the track here if you can see the lines in front of you. And we're up against a building to give you some depth perception on how this light's going to light up. You can see we're pretty far back. So when I'm inside a room, I'm really going to blast the room full of light. I'm going to let the drone footage play out here. There's no sound to this. It's just going to take the drone up and give you an overall view of the building. You're going to see the same footage coming up when we do a comparison with our competitor's light. So that gives us an example of the spot pattern. Now, the exact same spot on the ground, we change it to the flood pattern. And you can see the flood is radically different. The flood is much wider, and it's covering the entire face of that building. I'm going to let the drone fly here on the flood pattern. And keep in mind, this light is sitting on the track. It's not propped up on a tripod to get it up off the ground. And that's about a 2.5-story building there, and we're clearly striking the top of that building. So just real quick, flip back and forth so you can see spot versus flood. We are running a special on this light. This started the end of 2024 and it's running through 2025. It's $925 to the customer. That includes shipping. Right now, that is valid through the end of the year. We will evaluate it at the end of the year and see about potentially carrying it into 2026. The key with this is we're in the business of making lighting, and that's our specialty. We are not in the business of making a battery and a charger. So this $925 price does not include the battery and the charger. You can buy a battery and a charger off of us. You can also buy that exact same battery and charger that you need from Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon, and probably get it for less money. So that's why we sell this on this special without the battery and the charger. We will sell the battery and the charger to someone if they want, but we'd rather not, because obviously anything that touches our hands, we don't get a great price on it, and we need to pass that through. So we'd rather you go get a great price on it. As we do with all of our Recon University stuff, we like to talk about our competition. Competition is healthy. It's what helps us grow. And for you, the end user out there in the field, you need to know what's different between the two lights. You don't need a salesman just giving you a bunch of fluff. You need the facts, and that's what we're here to provide you with. So our first competitor is Akron Brass, and that is the Akron Revel light. You can see the Revel light here on the screen. The specs on it, it's 14,000 lumens, 12 pounds, so it's a little heavier. I'm going to pull our specs up next to it. It uses a 28-volt Akron battery. The warranty is 6 years on the light overall, 1 year on the battery and charger. So on this screen, I've pulled up for you now the comparison with the FRC numbers. Keep in mind, those lumens, that's the raw. I told you effective is what matters, and at the end, I'm going to show you raw versus effective on all of these lights. The weights are about the same. I mean, a pound difference. The difference in the battery, Akron makes a nice battery. However, it's Akron's battery. So you're tied to their battery now. You can't use any other batteries in your fleet, and I doubt you have very many other things that run on an Akron battery. With that said, it's their battery. It still only has a 1-year warranty on it. The Akron does do some cool things. The Akron did come out before the Spectra Mobile, so we looked at some of the things they did and said, hey, what makes sense? They have selectable spot or flood patterns. We do too. Adjustable intensity helps you get a longer lifespan. A hanging strap to position on a ladder rung. Again, similarities you're seeing between the lights. Wall spike to hang it on the wall. They do have a swiveling adjustable head. So we allow you to, if you look at the frame design on our light, you can kind of position it by tipping it back. They went with a swiveling head. We have a fixed head, and we're going to move the whole light instead. Our next competitor is the Streamlight. This one's a little newer into the market. 10,000 lumens, 15.56 pounds. It uses a lithium-ion battery. The warranty, when you read the website, the warranty is lifetime, limited lifetime. Go into the details. So that limited lifetime excludes the battery, the charger, the switches, and all of the electronics. Those are all 2 years. So basically, if this light burns out, you were covered by a 2-year warranty because electronics burned it out. Again, I'll overlay the FRC competitive to this. You'll see we are considerably lighter than the Streamlight Portable 2. We are considerably brighter, and that's on raw. When we get to effective, you're going to see we're even brighter. They do a few neat things with the Streamlight Portable 2. One thing, it is flood pattern only, so you don't have two different patterns to choose from. But they do have the adjustable intensity, just like the rest of us. They have hooked feet, so you can hang it on a wall. You can stack them. So if you're carrying multiple Streamlight portables, you could stack them up to get a brighter tower of light if you wanted to. One cool thing, they do have a digital display on the back of the light. So they are going to show you how much runtime you have left. Something I forgot to mention earlier in the slides, while we don't have a digital display, when you are almost out of runtime, we will go into a flash pattern that's letting you know, hey, this light's about to die. And then they have a rotating head. So when you couple the stackability with the rotating head, there's some cool little features there. They don't have a hanging spike. They don't have a strap. They basically just did a loop on the back of the feet there to make you be able to hang it on something. Here's our first side-by-side comparison. And we don't have a side-by-side comparison with the Streamlight because it wasn't out at the time when we shot these. But this is going to give you a comparison between the Spectra Mobile and the Akron Revel. They are both placed on the track at the exact same spot, exact same distance back from the building, sitting on their own 2 feet. They're not on a stand or propped or anything. We're going to fly the drone here and show you the comparison. You can see that Akron Revel. Now they're both in flood mode at this point. We're not cheating and putting one in spot and one in flood. You can see that Akron Revel's covering about 3 windows wide, pretty solid. And when I say windows, I mean the double windows. Whereas we're covering pretty much the entire building. This is where the difference really comes in when you look at the light in a real use situation instead of just numbers on paper. So I talked about runtime and I talked about brightness. Here are the runtime charts for those 3 lights. So you've got the FRC on top, which is the brightest at 15,000 raw lumens. If all 3 lights are turned on to full intensity, you can run 1.4 hours on the FRC, 1.2 on the Akron, and 2 hours on the Streamlight Portable. Obviously, the Streamlight Portables can get a little more time out of it because it's not as intense. The curious thing is the FRC, while it's more intense, is still getting more runtime than the Revel Scout in full brightness. In mid brightness, we dropped down to 5,500. The Revel and the Streamlight Portable, they run a little hotter on their mid brightness. This is a little bit of a debate. If you're dimming the light at all, our thought is you're dimming it because you want to extend the lifetime. It's not that the light was too bright. It's that you're giving up some brightness to get more lifetime or more runtime. So we dropped it all the way down and get out to 4.2 hours on mid and 12 hours on low. This chart is a summary chart that compares the details on the lights. Now this is where I was talking about raw versus effective. So the raw lumens on the FRC Spectra Mobile are 15,000. The effective are 13.5. Akron and Streamlight do not publish their effective lumens. So we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. We know from testing that most lights lose anywhere. Actually, we're giving them a little bit of a break here. Most lights lose 35 to 45% of their intensity. We only did these calculations assuming they lose 30% of their intensity. So at 30% loss, the Revel Scout effective would be 9,800. The Streamlight Portable 2 would be 7,000. This is where we always talk in our science of lighting classes. If I'm comparing 2 lights and they're similar priced and the batteries are similar, one's 15,000, one's 14,000, I'm like, it's a wash. I'm comparing them same 2 lights and one's 13,500 and one's 9,800. It's a big difference. 13.5 versus 7, it's almost double. And then the weight, they just keep going up while we're the lowest. The battery brands, I talked about this already. Akron and Streamlight both have their own battery, so you're not using other batteries from your fleet at this point. We did go with the Milwaukee in the hopes that you'd have other Milwaukee batteries. We are looking to make the DeWalt available as well. And then the max power runtime, you saw the chart and the light patterns. We talked about the fact that FRC and Akron give you spot or flood. Streamlight is flood only. There's that effective lumens and what drives home what really matters here. That brings us to the end of the presentation.